Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you swatches and a tutorial using the Juvia's Place The Chocolates mini palette. This will be my third tutorial using one of the Juvia's Place new mini palettes. As you know, they have the nudes, the only one I didn't buy. They have the berries and the violets and the chocolates. Now, I did do tutorials using the berries and the violets, so I will link those videos down in the description box below. And today I am using the chocolates. I was only going to buy the berries and the violets because those are the colors that I'm usually most into, but you know, I had first written off the chocolates as just a neutral palette, and it is a neutral palette, and neutrals don't initially catch my eye, but then I saw swatches of it in other people's videos and I was like, ooh. So I went on ahead and bit the bullet and bought it. Do I have all these shades in my collection already? Probably. Maybe not this one, maybe, and maybe not this cool really dark brown, but I'm sure I have shades similar to them. But I like monochromatic palettes, I like mini palettes, I like the idea of being able to take one palette, open it up, and do a complete look with it. And I really love the dark brown tones they put in here, the shadows they put in here. You have a really dark, deep, but a little more of a warm brown. It's a little warmer than the other really dark, deep, dark, cool brown shadow. And then you have a nice light shade that you can use for your crease or under the brow, which is how I used it today. Then you have your prerequisite warm tone terracotta shade, and then you have two shimmers. This palette has two shimmer metallic shades and the other four are matte shades. And so the two shimmer metallic ones you have, they're pretty subtle, I would say. They're not really light shades, they're more earthy tones, but they're nice and they are different from one another. You're really not going to get like any kind of bright pop of color with this palette. I did do a halo eye with it using this shade right here on the lid. These shadows don't have names, and I didn't get like a real, you know, bright pop. So if you're not looking for that, if you're looking for truly neutral but earthy, deep, rich earth tones, this is the palette for you. I'm happy to report that all of the shadows that I used performed really well. Actually, the only one I didn't use was this really deep, dark, cool tone brown shade. But I used the other five. They all applied very well. They're very pigmented. Sometimes the really dark matte shades for Juvia's Place can be hit or miss. I can't report on this one, but this one worked very well. Very pigmented, but blended out very nicely. Everything showed up. I really feel like they've changed maybe the formula of their metallics, perhaps. I feel like these last palettes I've bought from them, especially these mini palettes, the shimmer shades haven't been like pow, like in your face shimmer. They haven't caused any fallout, which is, I think, in my experience, different for Juvia's Place. I did this look and there was no fallout. I did use the metallic shades wet though. But whatever it is, if they've changed it, I'm not sure, but I like it. I do like it. I do miss the really impactfulness that I get from other metallic shades in other past palettes that I have from them. But it's nice. You can use it dry, you can use it wet. I do feel like I need to use these wet to get the kind of look, the kind of oomph that I'm looking for in them. So I definitely think that's different and that's changed over time with their formula. But either way, it's still a really great formula. And for the price that you pay for these palettes, this palette was $14. I mean, they're really hard to beat. If you would like to see how I created this look today using the Juvia's Place The Chocolates mini palette, then keep on watching. Starting off the look using the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion, and I'm going to blend that in all over my eye using my finger. I'm going to go into the palette and I'm going to take this warm terracotta rust shade and my Sigma E38 blending brush, and I'm going to first tap that shade in and above the crease, and then I'm going to use back and forth motions to blend it out in the crease and small circular motions in the inner corner there and on the outer corner. And as you can see, this shade is really pigmented, really rich and dark, and this was the only time in the pan I needed. I only needed to go into the pan once and to build this up. I didn't have to build it up at all. And no problems blending it out. Now I'm going to take my Sonia G Blender Pro brush in that really dark, rich, cool brown tone matte shade, and I'm going to tap that onto the outer V area. I'm going to do a halo eye. So I'm first going to work this shade into the outer V, and I mean, you can see once again how pigmented this shade is. Almost, it looks almost black. It's so dark and it's so pigmented, and I was really surprised and pleasantly so at just how easy it was to blend out. It blended out really, really well. And these shadows are not dry like other really dark matte shades in other Juvia's Place palettes. These feel smooth to the touch and blended out so nicely. And I'm taking that same shade now in the inner corner, and then I'm going to connect these two corners, these in the crease, and you're gonna see, look at that, just how easily this shade blended. I was able to pull it across the crease. So I was really, really impressed with this dark matte shade. It was really easy to work with. The pigmentation was amazing and just wasn't difficult to blend at all. And now I'm back in with that warm brown to blend around the edges because you want it to be seamless always. And now I'm going to take this shimmer shade and my Sigma E60 brush, and I wet the brush, and I'm going to place this on the mobile eyelid right there in the middle where I left that blank space between those two dark, well, between that dark shade from the inner and the outer corners. And I'm just going to keep building up this shade because I really want it to pop. I really want it to stand out against those really dark brown bookends. And as you can see, I mean, it applied really nicely, and it's a really pretty shade. And now back in with that deep brown shade, and it's just a matter of going back and forth and making sure I blend the edges into that shimmer shade, because you don't want it to look like you just took your finger and just plopped that metallic shade right there in the middle. You want it to connect and blend into these the dark corners, the dark bookends. So it's just a matter of going back and forth and blending, and then I didn't feel like I had the dark shade in the corner extended out far enough onto the lid, so I'm just adding more there and then going back in with the metallic shade and making sure I don't lose any of that intensity. And then you want to make sure that this matches your other eye, so it's just a lot of back and forth and blending and just going through the same motions to make sure that it looks good on the one eye and then that it matches the other eye. So this took me a little while. And then back in with the terracotta shade once again. I really got that shade concentrated in the inner corner there a lot more than I would have liked. And now I'm going to take the Sonia G Builder Pro and that really light shade and I'm going to use that as my underbrow highlight and just to blend out the edges of the brown. This is a really dark, smoky look. I'm cleaning up here just where I went out of bounds because there really was no fallout. And now I'm taking my Sephora Contour eye pencil in the number 9. And it's gold, and I wish I had gone in. I could have gone in with the brown, a dark brown shade, or maybe with a shade that matched the lid color a little better, but I ended up with the gold. And I'm just taking that dark brown shade that I've used on the inner and outer corners and using it on the lower lash line, making sure to connect it to the upper lid using my Makeup Geek pencil brush. And I'm going to bring that 3/4 of the way across the lower lash line. And now I'm going to take that other shimmer shade and I'm going to put that in the inner corner, the inner quarter of the lower lash line. Couldn't really see it. I used the shade Wet and really couldn't see it too much, really. But I thought I would try to use as many of the shadows as possible. And I didn't do a bright inner corner highlight. I just kept it as is. I didn't use any highlight in the corner because I wanted to keep this look dark and smoky. And this is the final look. I just used my Sephora Retractable eyeliner in matte brown black to tight line and mascara. And I like the way it came out. I love the rich brown tones. Of all the 3 mini palettes that I've used, I've enjoyed all 3 of them. I think Juvia's Place really did a great job curating all of these palettes. The size, the artwork, the shadows that they chose to put in them. Every palette of the 3 that I have, all the shades work nicely together. You're able to do a complete cohesive look. You're able to do a complete cohesive look with all of them, and I really enjoy all of them. I'm really glad to have them in my collection. Let me know if you have any of these palettes and which one is your favorite. If you liked this video today, then please give it a like and consider subscribing because I do tutorials, hauls, swatches, and reviews here on my channel every Saturday. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.